Hey, welcome back. I'm really happy you are here today. Before I start, I want to ask you one simple question. Just one question, okay? What if I told you that just 30 minutes every single day can completely change your English? Not 3 hours, not a full day of studying, just 30 minutes. And this habit, it does not require you to go to a class, it does not require expensive books, it does not require a teacher sitting next to you. It only requires one thing, just one small, simple, beautiful thing: reading. Now, I know what some of you are thinking right now. You are thinking, I have tried reading before. It did not work for me. Or maybe you were thinking, my English is too weak. I don't even understand most sentences. Or maybe you were thinking, I tried, but I felt bored. I stopped after a few days. Trust me, I understand all of these feelings. And today, by the end of this video, I want to show you exactly why reading works, how it works, and most importantly, how you can make it work for yourself. So please, stay with me. Don't skip, don't fast forward. Just sit with me for a few minutes, because this video, it might just be the one thing that changes everything for you. Let's get started. Chapter 1. Okay, so let me start by being honest with you. Learning English is not easy. I am not going to sit here and tell you it's simple, because it's not. And if anyone tells you it is, they are not being fully honest. But here is something I have learned after working with thousands of students. Most people do not struggle with English because they are not smart. Most people struggle with English because they are using the wrong approach. Think about it. When most people want to learn English, what do? They open a grammar book. They try to memorize hundreds of words. They take a course where a teacher writes rules on the board and they copy those rules into a notebook. And then they try to speak and it doesn't come out right, and they feel embarrassed, and they start to believe that maybe English is just not for them. Sound familiar? I thought so. Here's what I want you to understand today. This feeling of being stuck, it's not your fault. It's a system problem, not a you problem. When you study grammar rules in a classroom, your brain stores that information in a very specific way. It stores it as facts, like you remember a math formula. But language is not a math formula. Language is a feeling. Language is a habit. Language is something that lives inside you, not something you pull from a mental rule book every time you want to say a sentence. And this is exactly why so many people feel stuck. They know the rules, but the rules don't come out naturally when they speak, because that's not how language works in real life. Now, here's the good news. There is a way to learn English that actually feels natural, and it is something you can do every single day in your own home, at your own pace, without pressure, without stress, and without fear. And that way is reading. When you read, you are not memorizing rules. You are experiencing the language. You are living inside the language for a few minutes every day. And your brain absolutely loves this. I want to tell you about a student I once spoke with. Her name was Priya. She had studied English for 7 years. 7 years, but she still felt like she could not hold a proper conversation. She knew grammar, she knew vocabulary, but when she opened her mouth, nothing came out the way she wanted. Then she started reading. Simple stories, just 30 minutes a day. 3 months later, she told me something that made me smile. She said, I don't know what happened, but suddenly English feels easy. I'm not even thinking about it anymore. It just comes out. That is the magic of reading. And I want the same thing for you. But first, let me explain why you feel nervous with English in the first place, because understanding this is really important. When you're a beginner, English feels like a foreign world. Everything is different. The words are different, the sentence order can feel strange, even the rhythm of the language sounds unfamiliar. And when something feels unfamiliar, your brain gets nervous, it gets tense, and when your brain is tense, learning becomes harder. Reading solves this problem in a very gentle way. When you read, you can go at your own speed. Nobody is waiting for you, nobody is watching you, nobody is judging you. You can read a sentence, then read it again, then stop and think, then continue. This is a pressure-free environment, and in a pressure-free environment, your brain relaxes, and when your brain relaxes, learning happens much, much faster. So if you have been feeling stuck for a long time, please hear this. It is not because you are not capable. It is because nobody told you about this simple, powerful habit. And that habit starts today.
Okay, so now I want to get a little bit scientific with you. But don't worry, I am going to keep it simple and interesting. Because once you understand what happens inside your brain when you read, you will never want to stop. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed that when you listen to a song many, many times, you start remembering the lyrics without even trying? You don't sit down and say, okay, I am going to memorize this song. You just hear it over and over again, and one day it's just there, inside you. Language works the same way. When you read English every day, you are hearing English through your eyes, sentence by sentence, pattern by pattern, and your brain starts doing something incredible. It starts storing those patterns, not as rules, not as grammar tables, but as real, living, natural language patterns. For example, the first time you read the sentence, "She has been working here for 5 years," your brain might stop and think, okay, what does "has been working" mean? The second time you see a sentence like that, you pause a little less. The fifth time, you don't pause at all. The 10th time, your brain just accepts it. It understands it automatically. And then one day, when you were speaking, you need to say something like that, and guess what comes out of your mouth? The right sentence, naturally, without thinking about it. This is not magic. This is how the human brain actually learns language. Linguists call it implicit learning. It means learning that happens below the surface, learning that you don't always feel, but it is happening every single day. Now, a lot of students tell me, I read every day, but I don't feel like I am improving. And I always tell them this: improvement in language is not like improvement in lifting weights. When you lift weights, you can feel your muscles getting stronger. You can see the difference in the mirror. Language improvement is more like planting a tree. You plant the seed, you water it every day, and for a long time, nothing seems to be happening. The ground looks the same, but underneath, roots are growing, deep, strong roots. And then one day, a small green shoot comes out of the ground, and after that, things start moving faster than you expected. Reading is watering your English tree every day, even when you can't see the growth, even when it feels like nothing is happening, but something is always happening. Let me tell you about a few specific things your brain is doing during those 30 minutes. First, it is building vocabulary, not by memorizing words, but by seeing them in context. When you see a word inside a real sentence, your brain understands not just the meaning, but the feeling of the word, how it is used, what kind of sentences it appears in. Second, your brain is learning grammar without you knowing it. Every correct sentence you read is a tiny grammar lesson. And because it comes with meaning, because it comes with a story, your brain remembers it much better than a rule in a textbook. Third, your brain is building something called reading fluency. This means the ability to process language quickly and automatically. And this fluency, it transfers to your speaking and listening too, because all of these skills share the same language system in your brain. Fourth, And this one is very important for beginners. Your brain is becoming comfortable with English. Right now, for many of you, English feels foreign. It feels like walking in a new city where you don't know the streets. But after weeks of daily reading, English starts to feel familiar, like a neighborhood you know well. You start to feel at home in the language. And when you feel at home in English, everything becomes easier. Speaking becomes easier. Listening becomes easier. Writing becomes easier. All from 30 minutes of reading every day. Pretty amazing, right?
Okay, now we need to talk about something very, very practical. Because a lot of people start reading and then give up after a week. And most of the time, the reason is not that they're lazy. The reason is that they chose the wrong thing to read. And this mistake can really kill your motivation. So I want to help you avoid it. Let me give you the 2 golden rules of choosing reading material. Golden rule number 1, it must be interesting to you. I cannot say this strongly enough. If the topic bores you, your brain will fight you the entire time. You will sit there reading the words, but your mind will be somewhere else. And after 10 minutes, you will put the book down and turn on YouTube, and you will feel guilty, and you will tell yourself you are bad at studying. But the problem was never you. The problem was the topic. So think about what you actually enjoy. Do you love cooking? Read simple food blogs or recipes in English. Are you into travel? Read travel stories or short articles about cities you want to visit. Do you like animals? Read simple nature stories. Do you love football? Read short articles about your favorite team. The topic matters so much because when you are interested, you're not studying, you're just enjoying. And learning happens as a natural side effect of enjoyment. Golden rule number 2, it must be at the right level. Now this is where many learners make a big mistake. They think if I read a difficult book, I will learn faster. No, that is not how it works. If you open a text and you don't understand 5 words in every single sentence, your brain will become frustrated. You will spend more time in the dictionary than in the story. You will lose the thread, you will lose motivation. The sweet spot, the perfect reading zone is this. You should understand about 80 to 90% of what you read. That means most sentences feel clear, but every now and then you find a new word or a slightly tricky sentence. That's the perfect balance. Enough challenge to grow, enough comfort to enjoy. So what are the best things to read for beginners? Number 1, graded readers. These are books written specifically for English learners. They come in different levels. Level 1, Level 2, Level 3, and so on. The vocabulary is controlled, the sentences are natural but not too complicated, and the stories are actually enjoyable. I highly recommend starting here if you're a beginner. Number 2, short, simple stories. These are easy to find online. Short story websites, free ebooks, beginner fiction collections. Short means you can finish something in one sitting, and finishing a story gives you a wonderful feeling of achievement. Number 3, articles about your favorite topic. Find a website or blog in English that talks about something you love. The combination of familiar topic plus English reading is extremely powerful. Number 4, children's books and young adult novels. Now, don't feel embarrassed about this. Some of the greatest English learners in the world started with children's books. Books like Charlotte's Web, or The Giving Tree, or the Magic Tree House series. These books use beautiful, natural English. They're clear, they're warm, and honestly, they're wonderful to read at any age. Number 5, subtitles and transcripts. If you watch English videos on YouTube with subtitles, you are reading while listening. This is a fantastic double benefit. Now let me also tell you what not to do. Do not start with Shakespeare. Do not start with legal documents or academic papers. Do not start with the news if you're a complete beginner, because news English is actually quite advanced. Start simple, stay comfortable, grow slowly. One more very important thing. Please do not use the dictionary for every single word.
I know it feels wrong to keep reading when you see a word you don't know, but stopping for every word completely breaks your reading flow, and it makes reading feel like work instead of enjoyment. Here's what I suggest instead. If you see a new word, try to guess its meaning from the sentence around it. Context is usually enough to understand. If the word keeps appearing and you really don't understand, then yes, look it up. But don't make a long list of vocabulary to memorize. Just understand the meaning, put the dictionary away, and keep reading. Your brain will take care of the vocabulary naturally over time. I promise.
Okay, this chapter might surprise you a little bit, because I am going to tell you something that goes against what most people believe about learning to speak a language. Most people think, to speak better, you must speak more. Practice speaking every single day. Talk to people. Do conversation exercises. And yes, speaking practice is important. I am not saying it isn't. But here's what most people miss. Speaking is actually an output skill, and output only works well when there is enough input. Think of it like this. Imagine you have a water tank, and you want to pour water out of it. If the tank is empty, nothing comes out. If the tank has a little bit of water, a trickle comes out, slowly, awkwardly. But if the tank is full, the water pours out easily, smoothly, without effort. Reading fills your tank. Every book you read, every article you finish, every story you enjoy is pouring more English into your brain, more vocabulary, more sentence patterns, more natural expressions. And when you finally open your mouth to speak, all of that stored English comes pouring out. Let me give you a specific example of how this works. When you read a lot, you encounter sentences like this: "I have been thinking about this for a long time," or "He didn't seem to realize what was happening," or "They were so tired that they fell asleep immediately." Now, you don't stop and think, "Oh, that's the present perfect continuous tense," or "Oh, that's a result clause." You just read, you understand, and your brain stores the pattern. Then later, when you are speaking and you want to say something similar, that pattern just comes out because your brain has seen it before. It feels familiar. It feels natural. This is very different from a learner who only studied grammar rules. That person knows the rule, but cannot use it naturally because they have never really felt it, never really lived inside it through reading. Reading also helps you speak more fluently because it reduces the need to translate. Many beginners, when they want to say something in English, first think of the idea in their native language. Then they try to translate it into English word by word. This translation process takes time. It causes long pauses, and the sentence that comes out often sounds unnatural because it follows the grammar of their native language, not English. But when you read a lot, something beautiful happens. Your brain starts to think directly in English. Not all the time, not overnight, but slowly, gradually, English starts to become a direct channel from thought to mouth without the translation step. And when that happens, your speaking feels smooth, natural, almost effortless. Reading also gives you something else that is incredibly valuable for speaking: ideas. One of the most common reasons beginners feel nervous speaking is not just the language, it is because they don't know what to say. They feel blank, empty. But when you read every day, your mind fills up with stories, opinions, facts, ideas, images. Suddenly, you have things to talk about. You can say, "I just read this interesting story about," or "I read an article yesterday that said," or "I was reading about this and I learned that." Reading makes you an interesting person to talk to, and interesting people never run out of things to say. One more thing, reading helps with pronunciation too. Even though you are not speaking out loud when you read, there is an inner voice in your mind. You hear the words in your head as you read, and over time, this inner voice becomes more and more accurate. It absorbs the rhythm, the melody, the natural flow of English. So when you do speak, your mouth is not starting from zero. It already knows, somewhere deep inside, what English should sound like. Okay, let's talk about grammar. Just the word grammar makes some people nervous. I have seen it. Students hear the word grammar and their shoulders go up, their jaw tightens, and they get a look on their face like they just smelled something bad. And I completely understand why. For most of us, grammar was taught in a really unpleasant way. We had to memorize rules, we had to fill in blanks. We made mistakes, and those mistakes were circled in red ink, and we were told, no, that's wrong, try again. So over time, grammar became associated with judgment, failure, and embarrassment. But here is something I really, really want you to understand. Grammar is not the enemy. Grammar is just the structure of the language. It is how English organizes itself so that people can understand each other. And the beautiful thing is this, you don't need to consciously study grammar to learn it. You can absorb it, naturally, through reading. Let me prove this to you with a very simple example. Right now, in your native language, you use grammar perfectly, not because you memorize tables, but because you heard and read your native language so many times that the correct patterns just became a part of you. Nobody tells a 5-year-old child, okay, when you talk about the past, you need to use the past simple tense for completed actions. But that child just starts using it correctly, naturally, because they have heard it thousands of times. The same process can happen for you with English, through reading. Every time you read a correct English sentence, your brain records it, it files it away, it starts to understand the pattern. After you have read hundreds and thousands of sentences, your brain has built a very powerful instinct for correct grammar. And this instinct is much stronger than rules you memorize, because instinct is automatic, rules are not. Think about it. When you are in the middle of a conversation, you don't have time to stop and think, okay, which tense should I use here? Let me check my grammar rules. No, language moves too fast for that. But if you have a grammar instinct, the right sentence just comes out, almost by itself. Reading builds that instinct. Now, I want to be honest with you. If you have an exam coming up, if you need to understand specific grammar rules for a test, then yes, you should study grammar directly too. But even then, reading will help. Because when you have seen a grammar structure many times in real reading, the rule makes much more sense when you study it. You think, oh yes, I have seen this before. Now I understand why it works that way. Grammar through reading is grammar that sticks, because it is always connected to meaning, to stories, to real language. And grammar that sticks is grammar you can actually use. So please, stop being afraid of grammar. Start reading and let grammar come to you naturally, quietly, without stress. You will be surprised how much your grammar improves simply by spending time with good English text every single day. All right, we have talked about why reading works. We have talked about what to read. We have talked about speaking and grammar. Now let us talk about the most important and most practical thing of all. How do you actually make this a habit that you keep? Because let's be real for a moment. You might be feeling motivated right now, watching this video. You might be thinking, yes, I am going to start reading 30 minutes every day starting tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes, and you are tired, and your phone is right there, and Netflix is calling your name, and you tell yourself, I'll start next week. We have all been there. I have been there. Every single person who has ever tried to build a new habit has been there. So I am not going to just say, be disciplined and just do it. That kind of advice doesn't actually help anyone. Instead, I want to give you some really practical, simple strategies that make building this habit much easier. Strategy number 1, attach reading to something you already do. This is called habit stacking, and it is one of the most powerful tools for building new habits. The idea is simple. You already have habits in your life, things you do every day without thinking. Drinking your morning coffee, brushing your teeth, eating lunch. Attach reading to one of those existing habits. For example, every morning after I drink my coffee, I will read for 30 minutes. Or every evening after I brush my teeth and before I turn off the light, I will read for 30 minutes. By connecting the new habit to an existing one, you give yourself a natural trigger. And over time, the reading becomes automatic, just like the existing habit. Strategy number 2, make it as easy as possible to start. One of the biggest enemies of habit is friction, the small amount of effort required to begin. If your book is buried under a pile of things, or you have to search for a good article online every time, that small inconvenience can stop you from starting. So make it easy. Keep your book on your pillow. Keep a reading app on the front page of your phone. Have your article tab already open in your browser. The easier you make it to start, the more likely you are to actually start. Strategy number 3. Give yourself permission to read just 5 minutes on hard days. There will be days when you are exhausted, when life is busy and stressful, when the idea of 30 minutes of anything feels impossible. On those days, just read for 5 minutes. Really, just 5. Why? Because the most important thing about a habit is not how much you do. The most important thing is that you do not break the chain. A 5-minute reading session keeps the habit alive. It keeps the chain going. And on most days, once you start reading for 5 minutes, you find yourself continuing for 20 or 30 minutes anyway, because reading pulls you in. Strategy number 4, track your habit visually. Get a simple calendar or a notebook. Every day that you read, put a mark on that day. A tick, a star, a smiley face, whatever you like. After a week, you will see a chain of marks. After 2 weeks, the chain will be longer. After a month, you will have a beautiful long chain of daily reading. And this visual chain becomes its own motivation because you won't want to break it. You'll think, I have read every single day for 23 days. I'm not going to ruin it now. This is called the don't break the chain method, and it works incredibly well. Strategy number 5. Read with joy, not obligation. This might sound like soft advice, but it is actually the most important of all. If reading feels like a chore, like homework, like something you have to do, you will eventually stop. But if reading feels like a pleasure, like a small treat you give yourself every day, you will never want to stop. Choose stories that excite you. Create a cozy reading corner. Make yourself a nice cup of tea or coffee before you sit down. Put on soft background music if that helps you focus. Make your 30 minutes of reading a special time, your English time, your quiet time, your time with the language. When reading is connected to good feelings, it becomes something you look forward to. And then it is no longer a habit you have to force. It is a habit you love. Strategy number 6. Be patient and kind to yourself. This is a long journey. You will not become fluent in 1 week. You will not see dramatic changes in 1 month. But if you read for 30 minutes every day for 6 months, for a year, for 2 years, the transformation will be real and it will be deep. I have seen it happen again and again. Students who commit to this habit and stay with it, and one day they look back and they can't even recognize the English they are using compared to where they started. That transformation is available to you, but only if you stay patient, only if you trust the process. Some days you will feel great, some days you will feel like nothing is improving. Both feelings are normal. Both feelings are part of the journey.
On the bad days, remind yourself, growth is happening, even when I can't feel it. The roots are growing deeper.
Okay, before we finish, I want to share some extra tips with you. These are small things, practical things, that can make your 30 minutes of reading even more effective. Tip number 1. Read out loud sometimes. Not every day, not for the whole 30 minutes, but sometimes when you have privacy, try reading out loud. When you read out loud, you are doing 3 things at once. You are reading, you are speaking, and you are listening. Your ears hear the words, your mouth practices the sounds, your eyes see the patterns. This triple input is very powerful for building pronunciation and speaking confidence. And don't worry about sounding perfect, just let the words come out. The more you do it, the more natural it will feel. Tip number 2. Reread things you enjoy. Many learners think they should always read new material, but actually rereading is extremely valuable. When you read something for the second time, you notice things you missed the first time. New vocabulary catches your attention. Sentence patterns become clearer. And because you already know the story, you can focus more on the language. So if you really loved a short story, read it again. You will be amazed how much more you understand the second time. Tip number 3. Talk about what you read. After you finish a reading session, take just 2 or 3 minutes to summarize what you read. Not in writing, just in your head, or out loud if you were alone. Just say to yourself, okay, what happened in this story? What was the main idea in this article? This small exercise forces your brain to use the language you just absorbed. It bridges the gap between reading and speaking, and it is a wonderful little habit that many people overlook. Tip number 4. Notice beautiful sentences. Sometimes when you read, you'll come across a sentence that is just perfect. It says something in a way that is clear or clever or beautiful. When you find a sentence like that, stop for a moment. Read it again. Let it sit with you. You don't need to write it down. You don't need to memorize it. Just appreciate it. Feel it. Because when you appreciate language, you develop a love for language. And when you love English, you naturally want to spend more time with it. Tip number 5. Use audiobooks or read aloud features. If you can find an audiobook version of what you are reading, try listening while you follow along with the text. This is an incredibly powerful technique. You hear the correct pronunciation, you feel the natural rhythm of the language, and you see the words at the same time. Many apps and websites have read aloud features now. Use them, they're free, and they can really accelerate your progress. Tip number 6. Do not compare yourself to other learners. This one is so important, so important. Please hear me on this. Every learner is on a different path. Some people had more exposure to English growing up. Some people have languages that are closer to English. Some people have more time to study. Some people have different learning styles. Comparing yourself to someone else is not only unfair, it is also useless. The only comparison that matters is this: am I better today than I was last month? Am I understanding more now than I was 3 months ago? Is English feeling a little more comfortable than it did a year ago? That is the only race you are running, and you are running it against your past self, not against anyone else. So be kind to yourself. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small it seems. Every word you understand that you didn't understand before is a victory.
Okay, we are getting close to the end now, and I just want to take a moment to say something from my heart. I have met so many people over the years who gave up on English, not because they couldn't learn, but because nobody showed them the right way. They were pushed into difficult textbooks before they were ready.
They were embarrassed when they made mistakes. They felt like their brain was not capable. And every single time I hear a story like that, it makes me sad because it is not true. Every person is capable of learning English. Every single person. And the path is simpler than most people think. 30 minutes every day, reading something you enjoy at your own level in your own comfortable space. That is it. It will not happen overnight, but it will happen. I promise you that. And when it does, when you realize one day that English has become a part of you, that it feels natural, that it flows, that you are not afraid anymore, that feeling is worth every single minute you put in. So here is my final question for you today. Are you willing to give English 30 minutes every day? Just 30 minutes out of 24 hours. That is less than 3% of your day. If your answer is yes, then I want you to do one thing right now. Go and find something to read tonight, something simple, something interesting to you. Open it, sit down somewhere comfortable, and read. Don't wait until Monday. Don't wait until you feel ready. Start tonight, and then come back to the comments section and tell me, what are you going to read? What is your topic? I read every single comment on this channel, and I reply to as many as I can. So write to me, tell me your plan. And if this video helped you even a little bit, please do two things for me. First, like this video. It helps more people find it, more people who need exactly this message. Second, subscribe to this channel, because I make these kinds of videos every week. Simple, honest, practical English learning help. No fancy tricks, no false promises, just real, proven methods. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for trusting me with your time. Now, go and read something beautiful tonight. I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.